that in Germany this is quite a phenomenon because there is a consumer surveillance company, and I'm not quite sure if you have any equivalent here in the United States. The GfK society is a society that is scanning the consumption, your behavior. So they would establish a test market, and he exactly has been photographing in that city called Hasloch in the Palatinate. That is supposed to be the socio-demographic copy of whole Germany. And these GfK behavior scan, they would give like special cards to the families taking part in that test. And whenever they go to any shop in Hasloch and Nepal, what they buy, and when they buy it, and how much they buy of it, of the product, this will be scanned and surveyed and will be put down so that the company afterwards know, well, if I would like to sell a lot of these yogurts or a lot of these beers or whatever, then I have to design my can like this, or I have to take a red label, or I have to take a blue label, or whatever. So his idea basically was that he wanted to see this little village. He visited it, and he was photographing, he was taking his photographs during the night. A little bit en face, it's always the same position where he would post his camera, and he would use no artificial or additional light. And it's a long exposure that you can clearly detect here from the light lines that you see coming from the stars, from the movement of the Earth and the stars. And he actually was as curious as we have been, what makes this little village to be a copy of whole Germany. And so there's, when you look at these houses, you can see two things, or you might see two things. At the very first sight, they look very similar. Yeah, and this has to do something with the way he took his exposure, he took his picture, but also it's like the style and the architecture of the houses are quite similar. So he's working in a series, and the whole series is 16 pictures, and we have 6 of them here. And but then on the second side, if you look very closely, you then see that there's a lot of diversity in it. So that you cannot really say that every house is like another one. There are small differences in the facade, or in the car in front of it, or there's a garden in front of it, there's a tree, there are flowers in front of it. And these are small and hidden hints to the somehow funny idea that you can